Yeah, it's like, you know, somebody who wants to drive and they're given the keys to like a 1967 Pinto that is rusting and you can see through the floorboards and doesn't steer properly. So you're driving, but it's kind of dangerous.
The kids used to play floor hockey in there, but now it's all cracked and there's grass growing up in between the cracks, and it's not terribly safe to be running around in there.
I think it's important. We've got this brand new facility, and then we've got a school ground that doesn't really match the building itself.
PAC has come in looking for something to contribute in. They saw the need for this and they asked us what would we see as an area that could be improved, and in agreement with them, that's the area we've decided to focus on.
And we are a very small, but I feel like a fierce and mighty group. Do you think that when a new school is funded, that would include the playground and sports facilities for the kids? But they're very clearly told, no, that's a PAC responsibility. The community needs to fundraise for that.
So we're about 5 or 6 parents that regularly meet for PAC meetings. And how the project got started was because a couple of parents noticed, new parents noticed how beautiful and 21st century facility we had compared to how the fields looked. So some of them raised that concern and addressed the principal, and he mentioned that when the school was built, there was funding for the new building, but there was no further funding for the sports courts. We started looking into ways of renovating that space and looking into ways of funding it, and that's what we've been working on.
So initially we thought, with the principal, I looked at the field, and we thought it would be around 25,000–30,000 because it was just the ground at first. We wanted to get it done. The ground is all uprooted, weeds and all, so kids couldn't play at all. And but our calculation was wrong. And gradually, when we sought to have some quotations from other companies, we found out altogether it will be around $240,000. For these 2 courts alone, it's $127,000. And then for the track, it's $107,000 plus GST.
It is a lot of money, and we can't just, even if parents were to get involved and start doing a lot of fundraising, I mean, it would take years before we get to that kind of amount of money. By the time we would get something, it was going to be time to replace the school.
Brains think better when they have more oxygen. Brains think better when they have more food, when they have more rest. But you need to be able to, especially in my program, the kids are asked to concentrate so much because all of their learning is done in a different language. And by break times, many of them are exhausted because they've had to concentrate so much. So getting outside and getting some fresh air and just waking up their brain again, and getting to do something different and physical with their bodies allows them to be less fidgety in class and allows them to be able to concentrate more in class. So if they can go out and get the fresh air and move around, it's way better for learning for anybody.
I think we're incredibly fortunate that we have the building, and I think we're also incredibly fortunate that we have a very large physical space for kids to play. We have great grounds, but they're run down. They're still the same as what existed for kids in the old building. And the old track that was the track that Terry Fox trained on when he was doing the Marathon of Hope. And the Terry Fox legacy is a big part of our community. When we do the Terry Fox run, we always celebrate the fact that we are the school, actually. We're not our physical plant anymore, but when it was Mary Hill Jr., it was the school that he attended. And we talk about the fact that he is a local boy who grew up just like any other student in our school community. And he trained on the track that our kids, when they go out and they go for a fitness run or they go for track and field training, they're running on the same exact location that Terry trained on when he was training for his Marathon of Hope. And so it's something that no other school in Canada gets to make claim for. Yes, Justin Trudeau was a student teacher here. So I don't know if he's got any connections.
We have a number of kids who come to this school, and this is where they feel they belong. There are circumstances away from school that are making their lives a little bit more challenging than for some kids. And being a child can be challenging at the best of times. But we have some kids who come from difficult stories. This is where they gravitate. This is where they come and where they hang out. they can get involved with physical activity and feel like a connection. They have a connection to the school. They have a connection to each other. They have a sense of community. And I think if they actually had grounds that were able to support a number of different activities and a number of different games and things, it would just bring even more connection to them, to this area.
These are everybody's kids, and the kids need a place to go. And the kids learn better when they've got activities. They learn better when they've got good facilities.
We've been fighting long and hard to make things happen in schools, and it's not always going to come from the government, as we've seen. So I think it needs to come from other sources.
It's going to take more than just the 6 or 7 people and the support of the principal in order to get this done. We need to get the community on board. We need to get the business community involved.
There are lots of companies and lots of organizations who look to make donations, and there are lots of incredibly legitimate and important causes to support. This is a local cause. This is in our community, and we're hoping that we can connect with organizations that see the benefit of benefiting the local kids, the local community, the local school, in a way that will, again, impact kids for years and years to come. So I think if we talk about PAC having a legacy, I think that those organizations that are thinking about and may want to contribute to a cause like this, I think that there's a legacy impact. And I think that's what makes communities strong, is those kinds of organizations that have the ability and see that value.
Whatever companies are involved or individual investors can see the impact right away. Their money is getting good use, it's healthy, it gets kids off their screens onto activity, and they're thinking better, learning better. And I think anybody that put time and effort towards this or money would, I think, be proud of the fact that they personally were involved in these changes.
Please help support our project. Please support our project. Help us build a new place to run around outside.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Vanek.
And we approve this message.